Yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV with my co-host Jeremy Scipio.
What's going on, people?
And a very special guest. You know what I'm saying? We got a little Houston royalty off up in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Handed to us by the old school homeboy Bass Heavy. You know what I'm saying? So how you doing, Lil Bri?
I'm doing good. How are y'all?
We good?
I feel like that's out of the country.
Ah, man, you straight.
The right amount of country.
And for everybody or anybody watching, you know what I'm saying, Jeremy had to tell us to jump into the double dutch because me and Jeremy was talking to our cousin from Houston, you know, Lil Bri, we just adopted her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
her southern accent had me thinking about Papados, and I forgot about Papacitos, and you know what I'm saying? All that bomb soul food down there in Houston. So, you know what I'm saying? So first off, man, we're going to give a moment of silence to the Migos that's no longer here. You know what I'm saying? It's horrible to lose a life, such a young talent. You know what I'm saying? Had a lot of life ahead of him. But, you know, hopefully this will create some type of change. And yeah, that was just a horrible thing. Kind of threw my day off. You know what I'm saying? I was never like the hugest Migos fan or whatever, but whenever something senseless just kind of happens, it just, you know, if you got a heart, you know what I'm saying, it'll shake you a little bit. So
real quick, I think we should be a little more specific. You know, Takeoff of the Migos was just shot dead recently last night. Apparently over a dice game. The only information we had is that he was just chilling, smoking, while Quavo was engaged in the heated debate, whatever. So, yeah, like you said, senseless gun violence, you know, be cool if it can stop. I think it's a little messed up that we tend to blame the culture, but there is obviously a lot of that mixed in. So, yeah, you're right, man. It sucks, but yeah, it's part of it.
No, thank you for. See, I didn't want to call out one of the wrong Migos' names, and just, you know, the days have been horrible, and now it's just been like, oh man, why you say the wrong name? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, rest in peace, brother Takeoff. But now we're gonna step into some a talented young lady. You know what I'm saying? She's made her round. She's come through the school of bass. You know what I'm saying? And I guess we'll jump it off. Since we just passed that holiday, what was your favorite Halloween memory?
That's a good question. I think my favorite Halloween memory right now, I was able to take my niece trick-or-treating for the first time. And it's not the same as when, you know, I was trick-or-treating, but to see her enjoy that moment for the first time was super fun for me. Yeah,
you know, it's a trip. You know, Halloween in 2022 is different than Halloween was, you know, years back. You know what I'm saying? Years back, you didn't really have to worry about the weirdos too much. I mean, you knew there was some weirdos out there.
Yes, like it was. Yeah, we had to watch out for the candy. It was more so letting her enjoy the experience, but not more so letting her eat the candy. But it was fun just to take her and be a part of that.
Nah, that's dope. So, how were you introduced to hip hop?
Wow. Ooh, let's see. We got to give a big shout out to Bass Heavy. But I've always been a music head. When I was like 15, 16, I was listening to Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. I was just into maybe because I was growing up around it, but I was into that type of music. My dad is from LA, so he was always into Bone Thugs and Harmony. I'm listening to it all, so it grew on me. And I would use music to like help me with my depression. I had battled with depression at a young age, so me being able to write would help me just vent and open up. So the more and more I got into writing, I ended up finding an after school program called Workshop Houston, where I met Bass at. And, you know, he's an overall great musician, and he helped me open up into being the artist I am today. You know, he really instilled a lot in me, and I'm just so grateful for that opportunity.
Let me tell you something real quick. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you're very talented, and then, you know, you got some accolades behind you. You've done some things.
Oh yeah.
But with bass behind you, and you putting what you put onto it, and him putting what he put onto it, I can't wait.
It's gonna be dope. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, I can't wait, man. He's not a good guy, he's a great guy.
No, he's amazing. He's amazing.
How were you introduced to how do you think hip hop influences the world?
That's a good question. How does hip hop influence the world? Right now, I feel like it's giving a little negative vibes. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think it's still a way for artists to express themselves. Like I said, for me, it helped me with my depression. I feel like when artists write, you're able to put how you feel into your music, whether it's positive or negative. It's still an outlet for somebody. But right now, it's a lot going on, and I just pray that we can get more artists that become leaders. We have a lot of followers in the game, I feel like right now. So we have more leaders stepping up. I feel like we have the younger generation looking at everything that you say and do. So I feel like if we get better with the way we talk and the way we express ourselves, it'll help, you know.
You know, it would be dope if we had everybody from the Boosies to the Post Malones to like all these people that are making so much money off of the culture, from popular music to trap to hood, whatever, and everybody just come together and just kind of like, you know, like a We Are the World type of situation.
I think it's a lot of egos, though. That's the thing about the industry. It's a lot of egos. It's a lot of I'm better than the next. I have to be top. I think that's our issue. We deal with that in female rap as well, and I feel like that's why it's always been one female on top at every era in music, because it's so hard. Back in the day, I feel like it wasn't like that, but now it's so hard for everyone to come together. Like, we do need that unity. I believe that.
Yeah. I mean, don't you feel like that's the nature of the beast, though? I mean, I think in the purest essence of hip hop, that's what it was that competitive nature, whether positive or negative, you know? Right.
No, I agree. It's always a battle, but I just feel like we can uplift each other just a little bit make a way for the younger generation or anybody coming in the game after, because that's what's, I feel like, causing the violence. That's what's causing the negativity. Like, I think back in the day, they had more fun with it, like the rap battles and the beef. Like, sometimes it was a little fun and it wouldn't get as far. Now I feel like it's just pure ignorance. It's a lot.
So what's your favorite genre of music?
My favorite genre would be R&B. A lot of people be like, what? And you rap, but I think because I listen to so much rap and then I rap, R&B kind of like chills me out, levels me out. I love old school R&B, like Babyface. I listen to Escape. I listen to a lot of artists. That helps me, like sample music. That helps me think of creative ideas, but it kind of just mellows me out sometimes.
That's dope. That's dope. You know, the one thing, and not to just be this old fogey or just, you know, this super old cat, but one of the things that I think that the youth or the younger generation of hip hop, where they're kind of missing something. The R&B that I listen to is very romanticized. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like guys singing in reference to women singing in reference to men. And it wasn't just about sex, you know what I'm saying? Or if it was sex, it was more flirtatious.
It was filtered, right?
And it wasn't just like, strip club, slap the ass.
I'm sorry to go here with you, but I think the people need to know the truth. What you're saying is a lie, bro. There was a lot of drugs and weird stuff going on in the R&B music way back in the day before hip hop was a thing, sir.
But we found out about it years later. We didn't understand that in the process.
He's a super freak. She's super freaky. Yow. Let's get it on. What was he talking about? That wasn't really that romantic. He was being nasty. Come on, baby. Stop beating around the bush.
All right,
that nigga was on one.
All right, Dream Crusher, man. You coming in here,
that nigga was on one. George Clinton, P-Funk, come on, man. This nigga was nasty.
Come on, man.
These are facts.
But it wasn't thugging like it is today, man. Today, it's just some thugging going on, man.
Absolutely. Definitely thugging.
Yeah, I feel like they're a little bit more blunt now with it, but back in the day, I feel like doing the butt, them songs and all that, it was blunt. But I feel like we're just now like just raw. Like, it just flat out, like, they let you know exactly what they're coming for.
Yeah. I beat it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The one that direct, but that dude told her to stop beating around the bush. That yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know how lack of romantic it can be. He sung it though. At least he sung it. But what's your favorite hip hop movie?
Favorite hip hop movie?
Yes.
Wow. I really don't have what's my favorite hip hop movie?
Okay, look, let's broaden it because you got to think about it. You Got Served is technically a hip hop movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
step it up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You're right. Some people, when they think hip hop, they go ha 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 and all that. Like, it's any movie that got hip hop influence.
Drumline.
That's a great one. That is a great one.
Drumline was an amazing movie. I'm trying to think. I would say NWA. Why?
Okay.
Because I learned a lot. That wasn't my area. That wasn't my time period. So I gained respect for Ice Cube, a different respect for him. Like, I grew up on watching his movies from like, was it Menace Society?
Yes.
Menace, we had, and then up until him getting into the movies with the kids and Friday, like that's what I grew up on, and I didn't understand what he had to go through and what they had to go through being artists and dealing with cops and dealing with just being Black in general. So I gained a new respect for him, and it taught me so much. It gave me some history. So I would have to say NWA right now.
That's tight. So
actually, real quick, I was briefly in the movie. I was briefly in the NWA movie.
Oh, you was in the movie? What you was in the movie?
This part right here was in the movie. You recognize me? Yeah, that was me.
That's dope. So you said your pops was from LA. And so what city did you grow up in?
I grew up in Houston, Texas. So I've been here my whole life. I travel a lot due to like, the music, but I've always been Houston. Houston forever be my home.
Dope. Nah, Houston is one of my favorites, man. It was one that pleasantly surprised me, but the food got my heart, and then everything else kind of followed. But
what surprised you?
I thought it was going to see, my family's from Mississippi, Brookhaven, not too far from Jackson. So Jackson, up until recently, Deion Sanders coming down there stirring everything up. You know what I'm saying? Before that, they were very backwards down to me. Well, compared to LA, you know what I'm saying? Well, I won't say backwards. I'll say they were slower to receive things than we were. And I don't know if it was a music industry thing, a cultural thing. I can't call what it was, but I know that like if we had something popping in LA, Mississippi would probably get it like a couple years later. You know what I'm saying? Like I can understand it. I'll give you one. I was just talking to somebody, and they asked me, I'm going to Mississippi this weekend. And I just talked to somebody, and they asked me, had I ever went to a club in Mississippi? And I was like, yeah, I went to a club, and they had a blues singer there. And the club held about 200 people, and the police gave the blues singer an escort up to the stage at the little Elks Lodge or whatever it was. So you got the blues singer with the mic in his hand, and he's walking to the stage, probably about 50 feet from the door to the stage or whatever. And he has a little police escort. So that's kind of how, you know what I'm saying? Kind of how, I don't want to say backwards, but I'll just say country, southern.
Yeah, I mean, we do have the southern, the country is still, I would say like people out here still, ride horse, you can catch somebody riding their horse to Burger King. You can catch a couple of country things, and I feel like we are still kind of behind on the music, I would say, because we're stuck. We stuck in our ways. Like we love the old school music. We love like the DJ Screws, the Zeros of the world, the Slim Thugs, the Bun B's, the Paul Walls. Like we still embrace our culture. So when I go other places like Atlanta or LA, obviously they're not on that type of music. It's a little bit faster, it's up to date. So I feel like we kind of got the short end of the stick on a lot of things due to that. But I feel like now Houston is becoming the spot. Like a lot of people are moving out here. And we building up. Like we have 50. I heard 50 Cent recently moved out here. Yeah. And once again, I know we were talking about Takeoff. Rest in peace to him. That shooting actually happened out here.
Yeah.
Which was super, super sad. But it's a lot of artists that have been coming out here because I think we're trying to bridge that gap that has been happening for years.
Yeah, I'll say the South, you guys were the sleeper. You guys were the sleeper. Nobody saw the South coming, man. And it's funny because I saw some footage. Everybody goes back to the Source Awards footage, and they had Andre 3000, and he was like, "The South is coming," or whatever. And it was kind of like, and I can kind of remember that time and kind of remember that speech watching it, because when we didn't have social media, if there was a Source Awards or MTV Awards, it meant something totally different than it means right now. Like right now, with Instagram, social media, and everything, you have so much access to artists and their lives and like kind of like what's going on with them. And so it's like you can create a connection with them,
Right.
But back then, like 20 years ago, whatever you didn't get in a magazine, whatever you didn't get from a music video, whatever,
you wouldn't get.
Nah, you wasn't getting it.
That's crazy. I'm changed.
Yeah, I think I think when it's funny. I'm glad you clarified when you said that Houston was behind, because I'm like, how can you be behind when you have one of the most prominent like rap stars out right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, we have the biggest artists that come from here, especially Travis, Megan.
And Drake, he
represents Houston.
Say again, sorry.
I said, I don't believe it. Lizzo is from here, but she was raised here. You got Lizzo, you have Travis, Megan, Beyonce, of course.
Yeah.
And who else? Oh, you said Drake is always out here as well. He puts on for the culture big time.
That's what I was gonna say. Like he attributed, because since he's not from here, but he said he got a lot of his start in music and influence from Houston. He credits Houston. Yeah. So you say behind, that's why I was, but you clarify, you said the music's a little more up tempo these days.
Yeah, and people I get that a lot from when I go out of town though, they just say, our sound is just different. Like even when I was doing these TV shows and different things, when they would say, well, I'm so Southern, I'm so Houston. It's the way we rap. I think it's the flow, it's the tone. It's not more like, I'm trying to I feel like Atlanta had the game for a while and they put on, they have so many artists and they have a certain sound that just was popping for the moment. So when I would come out there in my style, it was so Southern. It was something that, I don't know, many people just wasn't used to or they weren't on. But now I think more people are embracing it. It's different. Like shout out to Glorilla. Like her sound, like to me embodies the Southern, the countryness. And now, we getting the door open for us again.
That's dope. One thing I'll add real quick. One thing that I'm kind of jealous of the South about is that you guys' sports culture is something different. Like, and when I say different, I'm talking about, I talked to people that were like, 10,000 people at high school football game, big football games in churches. You guys got football stadiums, high school football stadiums and churches. You guys got like mega, like we don't
mega we don't play about football and baseball. The Astros, like we don't play when it comes to the Astros. We don't play when it comes to the Texans, or even like you said, our high school games are packed like a actual NFL game. Like our stadiums are super huge. But yeah, sports, that's our thing out here for sure. It's amazing though because the homecoming games are amazing. It's a vibe.
Mm-hmm. What was the first time you realized you had a talent for the arts?
I realized I had a talent for it when I was about 14, 15, when I started to actually take it serious. Before I was just, writing in school, playing around with it. But when I actually was put in the studio and saw that I had potential with this, and when I got an award from the White House for that, that's when I knew, like, okay, you got to do something with this because somebody's recognizing it. So now you got to recognize it.
Could you elaborate a little bit more on that? You got an award from the White House.
Yeah, so I like I was saying about the after school program I was going to called Workshop Houston. They basically, it's an award called the Arts and Humanities Award. They do it every year, the White House, and Michelle Obama and her team picks different organizations, and they pick a child that they, I guess, see doing something to them in their eyes and see them working hard. And I was picked, and they flew me out there to Washington, D.C., and I won the award, and I was able to meet Michelle Obama. That probably was the most unbelievable thing still to this day. And it happened when I was like 14, 15 years old. And right then and there, I got so much news coverage from it. And I just, from there, it was up.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Like literally, I'm thinking like, you know, just, you started cute. I like that. You started out humble. You said, yeah, I got acknowledged by the White House, by the Black people in the White House.
No, it was amazing. It's still unbelievable to this day. And you know how you meet. I know everybody done probably ran into celebrities, met celebrities before, but to actually meet her was so different, inspiring for me, especially have some Black people in the White House at that time. Perfect.
And what you say to them? First thing you said.
Michelle, it was funny though.
Michelle, yeah.
How to go through so much to get in the White House, like the security, it's a process, the amount of background checks and everything. But when we first got there, they was kind of like hard on us. They were like, don't touch her, don't hug her, let her hug you.
How old were you?
I was 15.
How much background check you need on a 15-year-old?
You go
like, yo.
Hey, sure.
I don't see any history here from 20 years ago. I wasn't alive. Like, let me in.
Years and had some records on them. Like it's some people that have records.
You wouldn't even made it that far. Why even buy me a plane ticket if you ain't going, man? Let me in here. Quit playing.
So they made sure, like, don't touch her, let her touch you, don't do too much, don't do this. It was so you were scared to even grab her. But when I got on the stage, she was the most humble, most nice woman I ever met. Like, she embraced me. She gave me a hug. She complimented my shoes. I was like, oh, this is dope. But I was just nervous. I was super, super nervous. I didn't know how to feel in that moment. But it was an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
So when you were in junior high school, what was the soundtrack?
What you mean?
What music were you listening to in junior high school?
Wow, that's hard because in high school, I ended up having to get out of public school and do homeschooling out in Atlanta when I was filming a rap game. I really didn't have a playlist. I honestly didn't, because I was so busy filming. I didn't have time to really just, I don't even know, be a kid, if that makes sense. I didn't have much free time, but probably on my free time, if I did, what was coming out? It was Rick Ross' album was coming out. He had a song called Apple of My Eye. That was always on my playlist. Okay. The Migos had just dropped Culture.
Okay.
But I didn't have time to really enjoy that music. I really didn't. That's crazy.
So being on TV was a job.
Man, being on TV was more than a job. Like, it really took over my life, because I had to, like I said, that was my 10th grade when I flew out to the rap game. That was the middle of my 10th grade year. So just think your whole life stopping and you got to fly out to another city and live there for 4 months, a city you've never been in before, but live in a house with people you don't know. So that kind of changed me. That changed my whole perspective. And I feel like I was missing out on something, like being back home. I didn't have, my friends and family, and I think I just missed out on a lot, in my opinion. So it was hard.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lyrics to Rick Ross's Apple of My Eye. It seemed like he made the song about you, which is kind of weird because you was in high school. No. What was it like to win the win the award for National Arts and Humanities Youth Program Award? I said that totally wrong.
It was amazing. It was amazing because it opened so many doors for me now. Like I said, after I got the award, so many people wanted to interview me. So many people wanted to work with me. My talent was actually being shown to the world. So then I got the call from the TV show, The Rap Game. After I filmed The Rap Game, being on The Rap Game, I was able to work with legends like Jermaine Dupri, who hosted the show. I got to work with, who else was on there? Dougie Fresh, Tiana Taylor. We worked with DeBrat, Bow Wow, so many people. So to be around these people and actually get free game and actually learn something, and every week, Brian Michael Cox, it was.
What'd you learn from Bow Wow?
The list goes on, and that helped me to be the artist I am today.
What you learned from Bow Wow? I would love to hear that.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, Bow Wow gave us some real gems because Bow Wow been in the game a minute. Bow Wow helped go with performance, with us interacting with the crowd because I was young, I was shy. Like I would probably when I was on the show, I was standing in one spot, not really talking or interacting with the crowd. It was more so him helping us with our movements.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he helped you with he coordinated you guys.
No, more so just like telling us you gotta give them a show. Okay. Like you gotta be entertaining. You have to give them something. You don't want to bore the crowd, and that's what mostly does.
Okay, Bow Wow. All right. That's when I was like, okay, let me see what Bow Wow up here teaching. You know what I mean? I don't hear him giving out the gems. I don't hear the Bow Wow like, I had this deep. I feel like I could see a picture with you and Bow Wow over you, and you up here now. Your hair like,
Yeah. Nah, but
he actually helped out a lot.
Okay.
Nah, Bow Wow gotta see what people gotta understand with Bow Wow, like they can kind of go hard on him and say that he's extra or just whatever. But man, he got into the game when he was like elementary school. You know what I'm saying?
That was a lot. Like it's now like second nature to you.
Yeah. Nah, that's dope. So the Lifetime show. So you do the thing, you win the award. After you win the award, whoever your representation is, they get a call, or did you audition for, or how did that work?
So I was always like posting my videos on Instagram of me rapping. I would do mostly covers of songs, and they'll do pretty decent numbers. And then I got an email. I thought it was like a spam. I really looked over it, and it was an email from a producer, and it was like, we would love to do like a Skype interview with you and potentially have you on this TV show called The Rap Game. And I'm like, okay. So we ended up setting up the Skype call. They loved me, and that quick they flew me out there, took me out of school, and it was right to work.
Dang.
Yes.
Oh, what job you had gave you the best life experience?
You said what job?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. My only job has been my music.
Fortunate.
My job. My only job has been my music, but I'll set myself up to where I never had to work a job, where I put so much into my music, where it was like when I was young, being on them shows, just thinking about it, being around them legends, they set me up for success, especially like bass. I was able to learn how to register my music the right way, how to sell products, how to set my YouTube up. Like I have so many different streams of income. And then I started young. So when I got on that show, I was about 14, 15. After that, as soon as I got off the show, we were making money on the show. We were getting paid because we were basically employees. So I was getting paid the whole time I was on the show. After I did that, what was the next step? The next step. After the show, I started getting booked for birthday parties. I started getting booked for events. So I'm 14, 15 making money like everywhere. It's coming from everywhere. And then on top of myself up for success. And then I got hit up for another TV show, which was The Four on Fox, with DJ Khaled, Megan Trainor, and I forgot who Diddy was the other host. So it was like I didn't have room to work an actual job because I was so busy filming.
You lucky, man.
Man, I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. But it had its ups and downs, like dealing with being on TV. You know how people really only get to see about 30 minutes of your life. They only get to see, little bits and pieces of it. So we dealt with a lot, like being pulled out of school and people not really caring about your emotions. They're more so worried about, filming. They're more so worried about getting that bag, the TV show. It wasn't really about your mental health. So like I said, most people was dealing with depression, most people being me as well, dealing with comments. Like we weren't media trained. We didn't know once this released, people are going to say negative things, or we didn't know how TV was going to edit certain things. So it came with its flaws, but I was super blessed to, be set up like this.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, Bass got him a good one, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we locked and loaded. It's been a minute, but I keep my options open. Like right now, I've been in and out of LA working with a couple of people out there, and it's just trying to build a name now for me. Everybody know me as Lil Bri. Like shout out to Mulatto, my big sis. Like she did the first season of the Rap Game, and that helped pave the way for her career. And it's like now, I look up to her, and I try to make a name now for Bri, not just being on these TV shows. Like I want people to know who Lil Bri is, not what the TV portrayed, if that makes sense.
We have a chat that's been going on. Actually, we got some people who are really eager and they're following along. I'm not gonna tell you every little thing that they said because they've been actively listening. But
Right.
one of the main questions I wanted to focus on is they want to know how far you want to take it.
How far I want to take it. I want to take it as far as I possibly can. I recently took a break though from it. Some people think you didn't fell off or you don't have nothing going on. I had to take a mental break for Bri.
I thought you fell off. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I had to take a mental break. I had to take a mental break for Bri. Was it because I didn't when I was growing up, I didn't want to be a rapper. Rapper was never in my what's the thing? Rapper was never in my vocabulary. I always wanted to be a lawyer, going to forensics, like that was my lane. And I was always super shy in school. I was that quiet kid. So when God took me on this path, I was confused. I was confused. Like when I would perform, I would wear shades. I didn't want to do it. I didn't even want to do the second TV show that I got put on. A lot of people don't know that. I tried to miss my flight when I got booked to be out there. But
wow. You tried to miss your flight.
Yeah, so when I got called for the TV show before, well, after I got off the rap game, like I said, I was dealing with depression from being on TV. It's very overwhelming. Like I know people have heard a story about the young stars like Raven and Sky Jack. They talk about this a lot. People don't really know what we go through. So after the rap game, I went into like a dark depression, deep depression. And I was done. I was like, I don't really want to do this. Then I got the email from the 4. Remind you, TV don't happen like this every day for people. I was confused. Like I'm not even signing up to be on these shows. They calling me. And I didn't tell my mom about it. I didn't tell no one. And I eventually told her and she was like, he's putting this in place for you for a reason. Like people don't get called to be on TV every day. Yep. I agreed to do it, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm doing this because everybody else want me to do it. I didn't really want this for myself anymore. So I tried to miss the flight. The day that they booked my flight, I actually missed the flight and they booked another flight right away. And my mom was like, this is happening for a reason. Give this a shot. Like, this is an opportunity. Somebody's begging to be in. And you're finna be in front of Diddy. You're finna be in front of Kelly. Like, why are you not more excited about it? But it was my depression eating it up. So after I did the show, I knew I was going to be back in the depression due to what I already been through on TV. Like, if you've been on TV, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm like, I don't want to go through this again because I'm not healed from this. It's like a heart. Like a breakup. If you're not healed and you go get yourself in another relationship and you know it's going to be the same thing, you get in a deeper hole. So I ended up doing it, got back depressed again, and I went back in my hole. But I grew a bigger fan base. Now I have celebrities DM me. I got Fergie. I got DJ Khaled DM me. Shout out to all of them. I wasn't ready. So I stopped. So now I'm at a point where I'm better. I've healed. I'm able to find the love for the music again. It's more to me about the music, not the fame, not none of that. So now that I'm finding the love again, now I'm getting offers from labels. It's now getting back up there. So to people, it was like a fall off. To me, it was more so like time to get myself together.
Look, your energy is infectious. I think literally everybody who, if you talk like this, I'm just now meeting you. If you talk like this on a regular basis, I think it's hard not to like fall in love with you and fall in love with your movement and what you're about and all that stuff. And I think even with the perception of you falling off, I don't think people really felt like that. I feel like, they know, I think even
when people don't see you on social media with the cars, the chains, the certain things, that's what they think of. They don't see you doing nothing. But that's why I try to be like, now I want to make a podcast and talk about depression and different things, because there's a lot of people on the internet faking. Like a lot of people acting like they're not. Like, so I didn't want to be one of those people that was posting like I'm good and I wasn't. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Mm-hmm. Nah, man, I think she can help a lot of people. And you know what I'm saying? She may not have adopted us, man, but that's our little cousin, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, we locked in now.
That's our little cousin. So you talked about the rap, you talked about all the things. So like right now, who would you say your musical influences are? Even if it's, from the past or whatever, but like your musical, not who you want to sound like or whatever, but like the musicians that give you the energy and they give you the passion.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. I would say Tink. I'm heavy on R&B right now. So I listen to a lot of Tink. I go back to when Tink was rapping. Tink, a lot of people don't know that, but she used to be a rapper. So I listen to that. It's the passionate music. I love people who put a message in their music, whether even if you're talking about trapping. But if you paint a picture for me and you making me understand it, it hits home for me. And with Tink, it's more so, it's the story. Like I can feel where you're coming from. I can paint a picture of what you're saying. So I would have to say Tink. Another artist right now that's doing it for me. I'm trying to think. Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates as well. I listen to a lot of Kevin Gates, his old music. I just, like I said, I love people who talk about a story, have something, a message in it.
I'll tell you, with all the controversy and everything that Kevin Gates gets a rap for, one of the things, because the thing is, no one's going to be perfect. Everybody's going to be a human. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
As far as you just trying to look for somebody that's just like, they're going to be everything that you want, you're not going to get that in anybody other than yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're probably not going to get it from yourself. But one of the things that was admirable about Kevin Gates, he could be very vocal with his mental struggles, his mental health.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it was interesting because I had he ended up being one of my friends, but he was a comedian, and I had him on the show when we first. Well, it was when we first started doing the podcast, but it was like right when we switched up the format of the podcast, because we had a DJ at one point, and then the format kind of switched up, and it was a really funny, who I thought was like a funny comedian, and something came up, and we weren't on air. I don't think we were on air. We might have been on air, and we might not have been on air, but the mental health thing came up, and he went from being the funniest guy in the world, and he's like, "No, I don't play about mental health." You know what I'm saying? In that regard, like mental health is very serious and whatnot. And I was like, man, that was very courageous to me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like everybody goes through something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we're not like, man, we human. Like we're really human. And sometimes it takes you to see somebody going through something to say like, oh, it's not just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? It's not just me. And then we human. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, we human. And then when you can see somebody of influence that's gone through some things, and then they've, you know what? People down the culture so much for where it is right now. But one of the things that I'll give like some props to the culture for, we'll take, this might be dating and going back a little bit, but Meta World Peace, you know what I'm saying? He said, I give a shout out to my therapist, you know what I'm saying? Or my psychiatrist or something, where like, it shouldn't be like, you shouldn't be looked down on for mental health or trying to get yourself together. We need to lift people up that are doing that, because it's like, man, you know, to want to invest in yourself, to want to dig into yourself. Like even with me, I go through like, I got a life coach, you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I went as far as I could go with the tools that I had. And I was like, man, I'm going to try this out. And one of the things that I learned was that like with a life coach, they hold a mirror up to you. So they kind of make you dig into yourself. But the cool thing about it is like, if you're going to invest in anything, you're the best investment you can ever make. You know what I'm saying? And like learning how to do what you do. But anyway, that's my mental health rant, but I'm very proud of you, man. I'm like I said, you just became our cousin during this podcast, but man, I'm proud of you, and I know you're gonna make some stuff crack. So with that being said, you kind of covered it, but the bass heavy thing. So you're in a after school program. And I'm sure there was other kids in the after school program that you might have thought were maybe better or more talented or talented in a different type of way. How did you guys make the connection as far as your music, and then you seeing something in you and you seeing something in him to where like, you know what, we can do this?
Right. I believe he saw that I wanted it. Like I was hungry to learn. At the after school program, you weren't really forced to do anything. You had the tools. So I'm like, hold on, this after school program is free of charge. They taking us home You picking us up from school, not charging us anything. You giving us free studio time, basically. The equipment we had, people, studio, I pay like $100 an hour sometimes to get the right type of session I need to get it mixed and mastered. I'm getting this for free at a young age, and I think I recognized it at a young age. Other kids was more so like, I just want to get on the computer, get on YouTube real quick, or I just want to play, but I really wanted to learn how to rap. I wanted to learn how to make beats. I wanted to learn these things, and he didn't have a kid as motivated at that time. So for him, he was like, oh, let's do it. Let's go. And he pushed me as far as he could. He was teaching me the basics on how to write a hook, how to write a verse. It wasn't like, oh, I'm just gonna get in here and mumble rap and say whatever I want to say. He actually broke it down for me, like, go read a dictionary, get your vocabulary up like at a young age. And it helped me so much. And I'm like, I can't thank him enough, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would not even be where I'm at. You know what I mean? He played a big part in me becoming Lil Bri.
That's dope.
Tell us how your belief system. Tell us how your belief system affects your decision making.
As in,
well, just career and stuff like that, like your motivations, aspirations and stuff. Like, do you feel like it's a big part of it, or it doesn't matter as much to you? Just wondering.
I mean, yeah, my beliefs and my aspirations play a big part. I live life where I live for me. Like, I really live for me, and I don't try to please too many people. I don't try to live a certain way. Like, I just be chilling. I be trying to be Bri, and because I know life is so short. I've lost friends at a young age, and I look at life like, man, just do whatever makes you happy. You know what I mean? Don't try to force yourself to be something. Don't feel like, oh, because everybody's living a certain way that you have to be this way, or because somebody is ahead of you. Like, I really just try to live in this bubble of, you got to live for Bri. And that's what helps me push, like, do what makes you happy, literally. That's it.
I guess I also meant like faith system too. I mean, you mentioned like blessed and a couple other things too. I don't know if that was a deeper thing. Huh?
You said like about religion?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Religion plays a big part in it. Well, I pray. Prayer is in everything I do. Like, I don't believe without God I would be in any situation. I've had those moments where times I'm like, when I was younger, you didn't really understand, or I didn't really believe much. I didn't understand it. And the older I got, and the more I went through trials and tribulations, and to actually have these conversations and feel him, it helped. It definitely did.
Mm-hmm. And also, I also like to know what inspired your name, if anything, or it was just like obvious.
Miss Brianna. So basically, name, like, I always wanted like a cool rap name. I feel like Lil Bri is just the most basic thing to me. But he's like, nah, you got Lil Wayne, you got Lil Kim. But no, everybody calls me Bri. Nobody calls me Brianna. So they just put Lil in front of it, and we ran with it. I think one day I'll change it. Maybe I might drop the Lil. I'm not sure, but that's what everybody knows me by from, all the TV shows and stuff. So I just been running with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have had quite the run. You know what I'm saying? You have, and the thing about it, man, I won't say God, I won't say faith, I won't say the universe, but something has wanted you to be where you are right now. Like, it's not by accident. Like, it's just,
I believe, like I said, it's still unbelievable to me. Like I said, I was that shy kid sitting in the back of the class. I never wanted, I'm still shy to this day. The music is like my alter ego. I really believe like I'm two different people. Like, Bri and Brianna is that shy person, that very sweet little girl, and then you got Lil Bri and put on like this. It's a persona. It's like, it's super dope. It's like Beyonce with her Sasha Fierce vibe. It's like you turn into somebody else. But it helped me get out of that shell, because closed mouths don't get fed. Lil Bri opened up doors for Brianna as well, if that makes sense.
Of course.
Nah, that's dope. So with everything that's gone on, your most iconic moment.
Wow. I would have to say, I would have to say meeting Michelle Obama, because that, and going to the White House, that's rare. And I would have to say performing in front of Diddy and DJ Khaled and Meghan Trainor. Like, that was the hardest thing for me to do. Like, it didn't even feel real, but to perform in front of them and get the reactions from them was amazing. And I was only 16 on the show, so I felt amazing. I feel like I had the world in my hands, you know. Those two situations definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What inspired the song I Should Have Cheated?
I should have cheated. So shout out to my producer, YL. He always send me beat packs and I love samples. So when I heard it, I'm like, boom, I gotta get on there. And everybody has been through a situation where they feel like they should have cheated, in my opinion, or either someone's been cheated on, or cheated on somebody. So I feel like the song was relatable. So I just went ahead and played with it, and it was dope. My fans loved it.
Okay, I don't agree with you. You said everybody. I'm not. I don't think.
You don't feel like
you
don't feel like so you haven't cheated on or had someone.
Jeremy's engaged, so he don't count right now. Jeremy's
engaged,
so he ain't gonna tell the
truth. Lil Bri with the with the long pass. What is your ultimate goal, and how would you like to be viewed in the long run? I know we kind of went over this a little bit earlier, but you know, if you want to elaborate, if you got some more to add, we'd love to hear it.
Okay, I would say my ultimate goal is to impact as many people as I can, pave another way, open up a lane for females, continue to open up a lane for females. I know it's open, but I want to open it even wider. And I just want to, I don't know, I want to go down as a legend. I want people to remember me as this great individual that was humble, that I don't know, that just did her, like made it okay to be you. I feel like that's not enough of that right now. But I just want to continue to be, and that would be mainly my goal.
Dope. So, how did the pandemic play a role in your process? Like, how did you thrive? Because it's like, okay, you got so much going on, and then like for me, you know, before the pandemic, I was on the road. I had another business, but when I wasn't doing the other business, I was on the road. It just seemed like life was a certain way. The pandemic comes, and it's almost like you're playing a game of chess or you're playing a game of checkers, and then the universe just flips your board upside or dominoes. Everything just gets flipped up and mixed, and you got to figure a way to like remix everything. So when the pandemic jumped off, did it slow you down? Did it motivate you? Like how did you move in that space?
The pandemic actually slowed me down. I would say that because for most artists it did. You know, we make our money off of shows. We make our money off of interacting with people, honestly. So artists and mostly anybody in the industry had to figure out alternative ways, like doing virtual shows, doing more virtual things with everybody. So that was a big change. And then that's when I was getting out of my depression at that time. And then boom, me being in the house and me sitting in one spot, that kind of triggers my depression. I don't know if there were other people like that, but when I'm sitting too long, I sit in my thoughts too much. And I'm like a workaholic. I feel like I started questioning myself, like, you're not doing enough. You could be doing so much more, but you were limited to what you could do. So you had no choice but to sit in the house. But I started to come up with creative ways. I'm like, okay, start going live more, start interacting with your fans, go work out more. It made me realize, make it, what's the word I'm trying to use? Do with what you have, basically. Because sometimes it took me back to when I was hustling, trying to get to this point. Sometimes you're not going to have all the resources. Sometimes you're not going to have it the way you want. You got to make it work with what you have. So that's what kind of helped me through it towards the end.
Dope.
What's the best advice anyone's ever given you?
I've gotten a lot of advice. The best advice, it was more so like, I don't know if this is a quote, but it was like, you know, when you're on a plane, right? And the flight attendant is telling you to make sure you put your oxygen mask on first if anything happens, and help the person next to you. I believe this is the best advice somebody gave to me. They were like, you can't help other people until you make sure you good first. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's your mother, your boyfriend, your child. Like, you got to make sure Bri is good before anybody, because if you losing oxygen and you going unconscious, how can you help the next person? So that helped me a lot because I'm a very giving person. I'm very nice. I think that has to do with my sign. I'm very, very giving. And sometimes people take advantage of that. And sometimes I neglect my own needs. So it was make sure Bri good before anybody. Because you can't help nobody until you good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. What sign are you?
I'm Aries.
Okay. All right. So now here comes this part of
what are y'all?
The podcast. So this part no.
Yo, that's wild.
What?
She said, what side are you? You said the podcast.
Oh, no, I didn't hear. I didn't hear.
I'm trying to say y'all side. Where's y'all
No, I'm a Taurus.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Taurus. We cool too, man. We cool.
Yeah, we neighbors.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, no, I didn't even hear. Jeremy's over there cracking up. I'm like, what did
You the way you did it, you was like, she said, what are y'all? He was like, the podcast. All right, so that's what we are. I'm like,
Jeremy looked like I said something savage. I was like, dang, did I? Oh. All right. Well, no, I'm hard, but I'm not that savage. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm non-denominational. I'm a Christian. I believe it. No, I'm kidding. Now, I'm a cusp Aquarius, apparently.
Okay.
So that's what I've been told.
Okay.
Look at the eyes and okay, what's up?
Nah,
look at it. Nah, something.
Yeah, nah, come on, man. If I tripped on her, man, Bass be calling me up the moment the Zoom we click in.
Nah, she got something. She got something to say about Aquarius because with you, she was like, "Oh, you neighbors." Aquarius, like,
yeah.
Speak your truth. I'm not offended.
Aquarius are cool. They toxic. I see. Toxic.
They're fine.
I've met that I've ran into.
Yeah, Jeremy.
That's it. No, I want to hear more. Go ahead.
I
dated Aquarius before. It wasn't the best relationship, It was toxic. I should have cheated. Go back to the song. No, but I really don't know too many Aquarius, so that was just one. So I guess I can't be too biased.
From what I mean, look, I'll be honest with you, but I'm not really a big fan of all of it. But from what I've been told, when you're a cusp, that means you're like you still have traits of like the other one, whatever that you're closer to. So Capricorn. So my mother's a Capricorn. So I guess I get like the focus driven, side. Very like organized, strategic. Aquarius tend to be more artistic, free flowing. Traits of water. So like pretty much, they go with the flow. Not really offended types apparently. So however you will. Like I said, I don't know. I just take information in, and I even take what you said to account. So like literally the next conversation I have about this, I'll be like, well, Minister Lil Bri said Aquarius is our toxic. So that's how I apply.
No.
Nah, so we gonna get into this part. This is gonna be a less toxic part, hopefully. So this part is inspired by someone that got their Instagram account taken over. And it was just like a hustle, it was some game, it was like whatever. They got their Instagram taken away, and then like so I had one friend that got their Instagram taken away, but somehow the way it happened, another friend that we had kind of like co-signed it, but he had gotten his Instagram taken away. So I had gotten both friends on the phone, and I was kind of listening. I was like the fly on the wall listening to the two of them talk about it, because it all happened like kind of like together or like around each other. So I'm sitting back listening, and it was like they were speaking another language. Like both of them understood how it happened to them, but I couldn't understand how it happened. But as they both talked and about 10 minutes went by. I'm like, oh, so we came up with this part of the podcast called the Monkey Hustle Chronicles. Okay. So it could be about you, or it could be about someone that you know, or it could be about you, but you're going to put it on someone that you know. So what's the craziest? Oh, hold on. I got to show you real quick. So this right here, right there. There you go. Now to you, that looks like a red brick. But to me, with a little newspaper wrapped around it, this was a $450 camcorder. So I kept it because I need to look at that brick and understand how I got game ran on me. You know what I'm saying? So
did you buy more than one?
No, it's 3 of them down there. It's 3. I'm just not gonna hold all 3. That's no, I got all 3 in my living room. Yeah, they're right here inside the Imperial Cruiser, so I can understand how that game got ran on me. So with you, Bri, okay, what's the craziest hustle that ever happened to you or somebody that you knew or that you know? Like, what's the craziest thing you've seen somebody get game ran on them for? That you can talk about.
I'm trying to think. I would say giving money to someone thinking that they were about to get a car and they didn't get the car.
What they get?
What'd you say?
What they get?
Nothing. Like a receipt. Like it was. You want to elaborate like on the situation?
Sure. I mean, I just
yeah, but it's interesting. Yeah. It sounds interesting.
Yeah. I was just figuring you was gonna be like, did they get a car? Like, nah, they got clothes and shoes and stuff like that.
So someone I know, they were on an app. I believe I can't remember it off the top of my head, but they were on an app and someone was selling a car, and they told them that all they had to do was give them a deposit. The car was still in the shop getting some work done. That should have been, to me, a red flag right then and there. They met with the person and they ended up giving them the money and gave them a deposit. And the person wrote them a fake receipt, acting like, okay, you gave me, this is where you're going to get the car picked up from. If you don't want to pick up the car, they'll, I guess what they say, tow it to their house. And the person went ghost and took their money. So yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. I haven't really experienced nothing other bigger than that with anybody.
Yeah, you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? You're lucky to know someone that had went through life experiences like that. But you know what though? One of my things that I take from life coaching is teachable moments. So like regardless of how crazy something is that you're going through, if you claim it as a teachable moment, you can grab some value from it. So like things that happen to me, things that I see happen to other people, I never get too pissed off, never get too whatever. I'm just like, okay, this is the education that for whatever reason I'm getting this education. This is the education I'm getting. And this is going to help me not do something else where it be a lot more detrimental to that. All right.
Oh, go ahead. You gonna say something, Bri?
No.
No, I just said I agree.
I want to share one. I'm gonna try to share because I know a lot of stuff. Monkey hustle ones, whatever. So I want to share one. This happened to a friend, but legitimately a friend. This has never happened to me.
Right.
No, seriously. I trust me. I can tell you about mine. I told mine. That's what I'm saying. But this one is very similar to yours. My boy, because he called me when it was going down, and he called me after it went down because he just couldn't believe it, and he told me not to tell anybody, and that's why I'm telling the world. He works. He's in production. You have these big film trucks, right? So it's the perfect time to just be like, if you want to get something big, you could just spend some money real quick, throw it in the truck, none the wiser. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, he probably wouldn't have bought this. He bought a TV, flat screen TV, same situation as you, big old box, bro. I let this go right now for like $200. Like what? Oh man, come on, let's do it. You know what I mean? Didn't ask to see it or nothing, man. He called me, he was like, Jeremy, man, guess what? What, man, I just bought this TV. I opened the box. I think it was probably like a 65-inch. He said it was, piece of wood in there, just like you. He said, I couldn't believe it. Bought a piece of wood, man.
Like a big TV box.
Yeah. But I said a quote to come to mind that my dad said to me. He said, "If this is the most money that you lose, then you already winning." So that's what I told him at the time. That was a $200 lesson right there. That's not bad. That's not bad for lessons. School costs like like between 80 grand, you know what I'm saying? To 100 grand. So yeah.
Dang, that sucks still.
It happens. Let me see. Okay, so what would if you had a biopic, what would it be called and who would play you?
Dang, that's a good question.
I mean, of course, you would play you if it was on some like 8 Mile stuff, but just if you had to pick somebody.
I had to pick someone. I would. Okay, so the name. That's deep. I would say "Walk a Mile in My Shoes." I would walk a mile in my shoes. I would feel like that'd be dope because you know people try to say they understand you or what you go through, but until you actually walk in someone's shoes, you don't get it. Who? I want Taraji.
Oh, that's like a good pick to me. Sure.
Taraji is, I love Taraji. I would love Taraji P. Henson.
That's like an Oscar right there. Shoot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That'd be the best one I heard this far.
Or Taraji or Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer. She on the come up right now. I think she finally put her foot in like the elite status. But
yeah, I would love definitely Taraji though. That would be fire.
Okay. That was a good one. Let's see. Also, someone in the chat said, if you carry your childhood with you, you never become older. Okay. I don't know about that one. I thought it was gonna be like a deep quote for the buying bricks.
Oh, not what they wanted the comedian to read, or not Jeremy Scipio. You know what I'm saying? Nah. So, if you could have your dream verses, dead or alive, who would you want to see verse each other?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would say, I would love to see Michael Jackson and Beyonce. Mm-hmm. I think that would be fire. I just think that would be super dope. Like they both have some crazy hits. Obviously, we know he's the king of pop, but to see, she puts on a show for me. It's not many artists that nowadays do that, like put on a full-blown show. So I would love to see them go against each other. That would be fire.
And who you got?
Michael.
Okay, you scared the crap out of me. I was like, shut it down. No,
it's crazy talented, amazing. But Michael, of course, Michael.
Yeah, and when that conversation first popped up, people were like getting upset. But I mean, if you look at the accolades and all that stuff, over the time period, I mean, that girl, she, nobody outworks her. I mean, in the industry period.
Hustler, the way the way she could dance in heels, the way she has breath control, like her breath control is crazy. The amount of hours that she performs and looks and sounds the same and not winded is amazing. I would also love to see Chris Brown and Usher too.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do it, but I went to Vegas to see Usher when that was happening, and he said he accept, but also I don't think nobody want him to do it. I don't know.
Interesting. I that because it's so 50-50. A lot of people said Chris, a lot of people said Usher. So I would be interested to see.
Man, I think I ain't gonna say I love Chris. I like Chris, but I think it's
to me in the bag.
Yeah, you need somebody. It's a hard one. You need like about 2-3 people to go up against Usher, man. That's what I believe. You can't.
Nah.
That's just Chris Brown is one category.
I gotta go with the youth, man. I'd have to go with the youth, the Chris Brown, man. You know what I'm saying?
Now, one thing, Brown catalog is crazy long. Like he has so many songs, like never ending.
Yeah, that's I was gonna say that too. I don't even want to go here with it, but you sound like Beyonce too. I was thinking about other stuff, but yeah, I mean, obviously being from Houston, that's probably part of it.
Boy, the country.
Was it? Are you? Where exactly are you from now?
I'm from the South Side of Houston, 3rd Ward, same area as Beyonce. We literally, where I grew up, the house I grew up in is literally 5 minutes from the house she grew up in, the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Same neighborhood, the South Side, 3rd Ward, Texas.
3rd Ward, okay, I see. Also, there's a rumor that I know there's like a debate on who have like the finest women, and Houston always comes up in that conversation. Like, is that?
Now Houston has, I feel like we do, just because, like, it's like what I put, like when you talk about sports, like, where the area we in, and like the type of food we get, the type of food we eat, like, it's just a big part in it. Like, our football players are super, but I was watching some interview I forgot what coach it was. He was like, he didn't even want his football players to play like Southern football players at the moment because they're so big. Is it like, I think they were talking about the meat like that we have and different things. I think it's our food. Like, Houston women are super thick. It's the Southern eating. It's the greens, the yams, the bread. It's all of that. I think Houston. How do you feel about that?
Hey, I travel a lot. I've only been in Houston one time. I will say, definitely, you know what I mean? And I say the women there are more forward.
They're what?
More forward. Mm-hmm. Like they speak their mind.
Yeah, they're gonna let you know.
They're not, a lot of, I know in LA, women are more like protected. They're like more like, oh, I don't, I'm not really speak. They're like, it's more about, and I understand why, because there's a lot of creeps out here. But I feel like Houston women ain't afraid to go like, hey, young man, where you going? Like, man, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get to where I'm going.
Yeah, it's like, I agree with that.
I'll say on the foodie side of the game, I'll give both y'all the cheat code.
Okay.
They broil the redfish at most Papados, but if you ask them to fry it, they'll fry it. You understand?
Papados.
Yeah, the cheat code. Oh man, boy, I'm gonna eat me some. Ooh, yeah.
And you come out here, you're gonna eat. Everything is literally bigger. Like our food is stuffed. Everything is like, you're gonna come out here, you're gonna gain some pounds.
Oh yeah, no, I'm hush puppies, brisket. You guys have you guys got the, and it's a trip because like Austin is like, okay, that's a barbecue town,
Yeah.
and then they do a lot of fusion and like, they try to mix in like new stuff and whatever.
Right.
Like Houston, you got burgers, you got ribs, you got bomb Mexican food, like
you got it all. You got it all.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That's one thing I love about my city. When I travel, it's hard to go other places. It's like, the food don't hit the same. It don't hit the same. Well, New Orleans, I love New Orleans food. Shout out to New Orleans. But Houston, it's the variety for me.
You know what? The one thing that I'll say about Houston, Gulf seafood is sweeter than other seafood, whether it's the fish, whether it's the shrimp, whether it's whatever. Like, out of that Gulf, it tastes different.
Tastes different. Yeah, it's fresh.
Yeah, that's a fact. So I'm gonna hit you with the last question.
Okay.
How do you see social progression going in the next 2 years? So like in meaning, okay, so we came out of the pandemic and then we were told that like the world was going to be in a small little balloon forever. And then all of a sudden the world just broke open. You got festivals with like the hottest 30 artists going on every other month, and everything is just like wide open right now. Where do you see things going in the next 2 years?
It's I can't even answer that question. I say that because the word is giving us so many surprises, like with Corona, with monkeypox, like stuff just keeps happening. And it's like, I really don't know. It's so scary to say that, because before I feel like I could give my guess, but now it's just like, you just don't know what's gonna happen next. It's so scary now. I really wouldn't know. I would say that it just would be, I hope if we would get out of where we at now. I feel like it's always something after the other. Like I said, right after Corona, when we were just healing from getting out of this pandemic, and then boom, the monkeypox happened, and now people probably big things on their face. It's like, oh my God. And then I just feel like it's something after the other. So hopefully we get out of this phase and everybody can just get back to peace and growing.
Well, I'll say this to kind of close the show out. I'll go back to saying I would love to see the New York rappers that might be beefing with each other, the Southern rappers that might beef with each other, the LA rappers that might beef with each other. Everybody come together, man, and just like have a call to action, a call to action where everybody, because it's a trip. Like Nipsey was doing it, and not to be cliche and mention Nipsey Hussle, but it was like Nipsey was messing with the game, he was messing with YG. You know what I'm saying? He got the Hispanic people and the Black people to kind of move closer and everything, and it was like, it was a different kind of energy. And then it's kind of like, okay, you know, Nipsey passes, and then it's just back to everybody kind of at everybody. We're like, you know, we just need to move beyond crabs in a bucket. I guess that's what I'm trying to
do. I agree.
Yeah, it's a bigger conversation that needs to be had. I don't like to place the blame, you know, on so many different areas, but I will say, you know, like you said, call to action just for love and more support in the community, as opposed to you know, because obviously I'm not gonna say with this latest situation, but a lot of situations stem from something as basic as jealousy, you know. But we start, you know, placing on the other stuff, and you know, these are artists expressing themselves. You know, I feel like with other cultures, they don't blame, you know, when something happens, they just call it unfortunate circumstance. But with us, it's just like, yeah, it's like, that's because that's how Black people are. Y'all, you know, like they artists, people should be able to separate real from fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Like why should we have to change up the art just because a couple of idiots? You know what I mean? So much positivity, so much money. People have really become billionaires off of this music. You know, we should spread the wealth as opposed to, you know, jealousy. It's jealousy. You know what I mean? That's why Nipsey, this guy was jealous of him. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I definitely admit, I think it's a big call to action.
Dope. So with all that being said, Miss Lil Bri, let us know what you got coming up, what you got cracking, what music we need to check out, what your social media is. If somebody wanted to understand your music, where's a good starting point?
Okay. So right now, updates on me. I'll be back in LA probably sometime next week. Just going out there to collaborate with some artists, get some dope content, get some music videos, just start building back up my catalog. You can find me on all social media at The Real Lil Bri, where I'll keep my updates at. I'm starting my YouTube channel now, so I'll be putting a lot of updates on there. Everything, all my social media is The Real Lil Bri, and you can stay up to date with everything on there.
Dope. Well, I appreciate you. And like I said, man, you coming from basis tutelage, man. That's like, man, that's confirmed like a Don King perm, man. You know
Like then, shout out to Bass for hitting me up about doing the interview. I definitely enjoyed myself.
Dope. And you, Jeremy, you got any comedy coming up? Anything we need to check out?
Yeah, you know what? This Sunday I'm at the Hollywood Improv. That's on Melrose, 9:00 show. I got other stuff, but that's not important. I say what's important is my January 13th through the 15th date. I'll be in Memphis, Tennessee. This place called Growlers, and you know, that's the only thing that's important right now. Come to Growlers. I got 5 shows. I need them all sold out, and I'll definitely let you know when I come back to Houston. Last year I did the Secret Group. I had so much fun with the Houston crowd. I definitely want to go back, so I'll let you know when I'm coming that way.
You guys know when I'm out that way. If I run into y'all.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure. Well, no, man, it's been a pleasure. This is another episode of Splendid